the fly. What's happening, everybody? What's going on with y'all? I'm doing this on the fly here tonight. Um, Overlays make your stream look polished. I appreciate it. But we're going to dive into this student loan thing tonight. The student loan relief that you done heard President Biden talking about. We're going to go look at the facts. See my guy Aubrey here. How am I not following my man Aubrey? What am I doing? My bad, Aubrey. I got you. But yeah, sorry about that. We're going to be live on YouTube, guys. If you're here on Facebook, you're more than welcome to join me over here on YouTube by clicking that link at the top. I'll say Facebook. I'm in Clubhouse. You're more than welcome to click that link at the top. Join me over here on YouTube. We're actually going to be breaking down President Biden's student loan relief plan that he has here. Taking a look at it, putting it in words that maybe you can understand it by reading the facts. We're going to read it straight off whitehouse.gov. Yeah, we're not going to look at anywhere else. We ain't get people's opinions and views about it. We're going straight to whitehouse.gov, and we're going to be reading through this here tonight. Destin Williams, 2 streams in one day. Yeah, I was feeling good today. I guess I'm feeling a little good today. We decided to do 2 streams in one day because I had this special guest. And I know I've been gone for a couple Thursdays. I ain't been able to bring y'all this government contracting information the last couple Thursdays, so I did have to come back here so I can drop this on you. And student loan relief is something big, man. A lot of people are going to be impacted by this. Half the world likes it. The other half of the world can't stand it. But I always say, what does it matter? It really, President Biden didn't ask what we thought about anything, or else you would have took a survey or something. Instead, he made a decision. And whether you like the decision or not, it has been made. So since it has been made, what does it mean? How does it impact you personally? And that's important. If it does impact you, you should take advantage of it. If it doesn't, and you maybe have already paid back all of your student loans like myself, you just got to deal with it. You missed out on the opportunity because you paid your bills. Okay. But there's a lot of people out here who need this help, who need this relief. It's probably not going to completely take away everybody's student loans, but it will help some individuals change their entire life. But what I'll advise you guys this though, even if this does impact you, okay, if you're going to get $10,000 or $20,000 relieved, whatever it is, for yourself, guys, don't go blow this money, okay? Like you have to, you gotta understand the game that we're in called America, right? What's about to happen here? If they're going to, this is just business, okay? It's not personal. If they're going to relieve $20,000, and we're going to read through it later, but I believe it says something like it's going to make an impact on 27 million Americans. Is that what I read? I think it said 27 million. Don't quote me on it. We'll be looking through this, but if it's going to make an impact on 27 million Americans, listen to me. Let's just say at $10,000 a pop. What is that? $27 million, right? I think. Don't quote me on it. No, 27. What would that be? $2.7 million? 27 million Americans? $2.7 million that's going to be dished out and given. Well, they're not really even going to give the money. Here's the thing. They're not giving away $10,000 or $20,000. They're going into the computer and they're punching it in and saying, hey, relieve this person of $10,000, $20,000. Like, the money never got printed out. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just think business and not personal. If I was to give away $2.7 million or whatever the hell the number is, it's in the millions. If I was to give that away, like this was your business, okay, and you gave away $2.7 million, wouldn't you want to get it back? So we kind of got to start flipping our mind. If they're giving away this type of money, how do they recoup the money? Well, I mean, don't you guys see an increase in taxes? Like your home mortgage has increased. Where does the home mortgage loans come from? It comes from the government. They're going to get this money back. That's the thing, man. This is what I love about the government and I hate about the government all at the same time. They're going to get their money back. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So yeah, we get this little student loan relief, and a couple people get impacted, but you about to be impacted in a whole nother way that you're not paying attention to. You'll see the increases happen to you. You'll see the sales taxes go up on things. You'll see what's about to change because you can't rob Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? They got to come back and get this money from somewhere. But we ain't going to get emotional about it either way because we know government contracting. Hey, we just worried about making this money. We're going to make this money faster. And we're going to take advantage of programs that are out here that can help us succeed in this thing called life. So if this is you tonight, if this student loan situation is something that you could take advantage of, by all means, do it. Because if you don't take advantage of it, you still going to pay them damn taxes. That ain't going to change. You know what I'm saying? Whether you make it under $125,000 or over $125,000, once again, they're going to get this money back some way, somehow. And the people that are making under $125,000 is damn sure going to be the people that's getting taxed for this, because the rich, we find ways to move our money. Okay. And majority of the time, your lower income people, they don't quite know about finances. I always say your lack of financial education is going to be used against you. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you lack financial education, the system will use it against you some way, somehow. So we're going to start getting financially educated, and we're going to start making money faster so we don't have to deal with this stuff. All right. So let's get this party started. Majority of the population supports forgiveness student loans. Brother, see, it's always people, man. Look, and once again, I'm not emotional about any of this stuff. I hear you, Jay, Chris, whatever. Whatever you say. If you want to look at the actual statistics and say that's a little bit more than majority of the people that go with it, I don't care. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I really don't care about the statistics, okay? I really don't care about any of these situations that's going on. I'm trying to take you out to the money, trying to get y'all educated. If you get personal in your feelings about it, then, you're just getting your feelings about it. I don't care. But anyways, let's dive into this. Once again, if you're on Clubhouse and you want to see what we're reading through, you can jump on YouTube, see what we got going on here. Or you can stay right there on Clubhouse and just listen in. But in the meantime, if you got questions about anything that I read through, you can always go put them in the chat feature. I'll try to look at them. But again, I am reading the chat on YouTube as well. So you can go ahead and check that out. Okay. Let's dive into this thing here. And welcome to GovCon Cheat Codes, man. If y'all ain't checking out GovCon Cheat Codes, that's the new thing that we got coming out here, man. I got GovCon Cheat Codes coming for you. Once again, this is all providing information to you. You can run with it if you want, or you can bitch about it. Either one. Doesn't matter to me. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Let me move these TV screens out of my way real quick. Sorry about that. I'm doing all this stuff on the fly. Let me get these TV screens up out of here. And I need to bring myself back, don't I? I guess I do need myself. There we go. I'm right there. What's up, Travis? All right, so let's take a look. This, once again, it can be found on White House. All of the information, guys, you don't have to take anybody's personal opinion about anything. You can actually go to whitehouse.gov and read it for yourself. Jay Chris, I don't care what you support, bro. Like, I just don't care. You're not understanding what I'm trying to tell you here. All right. So anyways, whitehouse.gov. You can come here. What does it say? Fact sheet. President Biden announces student loan relief for borrowers who need it the most. Okay. I always say when you're reading through government documents, words are very important here. You sometimes you can't just read through stuff and base it off your emotional definition of what words mean. Words can have so many different meanings depending on how you've read it in a sentence. And sometimes we got to take a look, and we do have to go back and look at the definitions, look them up on Google. Sometimes we may need to read an article to understand, how the person who wrote this, like, how did they want to explain that in a sentence? Because a lot of people are giving their emotional opinions about stuff. And I'm telling you guys, emotions will lead you down the wrong way. All right. We just want facts. That's it. Emotions ain't going to work for this game called government. Some people are going to do it, and we allow them to live their life. But for the ones who just want to read, have facts, and then here's the thing, guys. In America, okay, there's this thing called the court system, right? And when you go to court, most people think that the lawyer is the key to all of this, but the lawyer is just someone who can interpret words, and they can interpret the words and then relay it to the judge. So the judge can make a decision. And these words that the lawyer read is based off their interpretation. Every single lawyer is basing their views off their interpretations of how they see it. And they're trying to convince the judge to interpret those words the same way that they see it. Well, none of this stuff changes. Same thing with government contracting. Same thing every time you see a bill that's written out there by the government. You have to understand that these are words, okay? And they are allowed to be interpreted differently. Yeah, you're allowed to take these words and interpret it in your way. And then it's your job to put the words and your interpretation back in front of the decision maker and say, hey, this is how I read it. This is how I see it to be true. Why don't you see it to be the same way that I see it? And now they got to answer you. Right. And the beauty about when they answer you this time is you got the exact definition. Okay. They can't beat around the bush anymore. So anyways, let's dive down into this. Guys, I'm going to read through it. If you have questions about anything that I've read, I'm probably not going to read all of it. I'm going to skim through some stuff. I've already read it previously, but I do want to do it with you guys. Okay. So as he stated, this is a 3-part plan. Okay, that is a key word. I like to look for keywords. A 3-part plan. So I know there's 3 pieces to this bad boy that my mind already has to think about. What are the 3 parts to this plan? President Biden promises to cancel $10,000 of student loan debt for low to middle income borrowers. So those are 2 definitions right there. What is the definition of a low income borrower? What is the definition of a middle income borrower? We'll probably get this a little later on as we read. President Biden believes that a post-high school education should be a ticket to middle class life, but for too many, the cost of borrowing in college is a lifelong burden, blah, blah, blah. Today, Biden administration is following through the promise of providing families blah, blah, blah. And look, also we got to remember, all this stuff got to do with elections and whatnot too, but I ain't even going to go down that route. Since 1980, the total cost of both 4-year public and 4-year private college has nearly tripled. We know that. All right, 80%. That has left many students from low to middle income families with no choice but to borrow if they want to get a degree, according to the Department of Education analysis. So I want to pause us there. Once again, how are we getting the interpretation to this bill? Well, Biden's getting his interpretation from the Department of Education. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't want you guys to think that Biden is sitting right there paying attention to student loans. Like he's doing the calculations and like, oh man, 27 million Americans, like tap, tap, tap. This plus that divided by it. He ain't doing none of that. Okay. He got the Department of Education who's done all that for him. They've done all the calculations and they have given their best interpretation of the data that they've read that could help out him. And then he has a choice to make, right? They probably given him a couple of different scenarios and he's like, hey, I want to go with that scenario. Okay. And you guys are going to execute it. Now, let's keep reading on. According to the Department of Education analysis, the typical undergraduate student with loans now graduates with nearly $25,000 in debt. Here's what I want everybody to do. If you have student loans that are over $25,000, I want you to put a 1 in the chat, whether you're on Clubhouse or you're on YouTube. If you have student loans that are over $25,000 worth of debt, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you have student loans that are lower than $25,000 in the chat, I want you to put a 2. Okay. So 1, if the loans is over $25,000, 2, if your loans are under $25,000. Now, the reason I ask this stuff, right, is because again, people get emotional. I like to look at raw live data. Now, I'm looking at both chats right now. And one person from each chat said that they got under $25,000. 2 people now. So, I mean, you know, I don't know where they get their statistics from. But this is why you got a lot of people upset, right? Because they like, hey, I got well over $25,000, but hey, they pull their data from somewhere. I can't argue with the decision makers on how they make a decision because it's already been made with or without our opinion. So, as you can see, a lot of people have well over $25,000 worth of debt. We know this ain't going to cure your financial aid problem, okay? But this can give you some relief, okay? So I get it. This ain't enough to really make a change, but, you know, you take what you can get. And in the meantime, you go learn some government contracting and you pay off the rest. But let's keep reading on, okay? Now, it says the cost of attending college has skyrocketed. Your average Pell Grant 2021 from 1980 to 2021 has been around $6,000 on average. While the cost of, I'm pretty sure this is the thing about data and how they pull it, because this says college, but I mean, are we talking about out of state college tuition? Are we talking about 4-year universities? Like, I would imagine if they're talking about the average being somewhere around $24,000 to go to college, that they're talking about out of state tuition. I don't know because I didn't pull the data. And all it says is the U.S. Department of Education got it from the College Board. So you gotta take it for what it is. We do know it is a 4-year university cost. That part we do know. We just don't know if they're talking about out of state or in state. But at $20-some thousand, I would think that is out of state. But we also, you know, and this is just Pell Grants. So you can't factor in all of your tuition costs. They're just talking about Pell Grants when they look at this chart right here, okay? So let's go keep reading. The skyrocketing cumulative federal student loan debt, $1.6 trillion with a T, and rising for more than 45 million borrowers, is a significant burden on America's middle class. Middle class borrowers struggle with high monthly payments and ballooning balances that make it harder for them to build wealth, like buying homes, putting away money for retirement, and starting small businesses. I like that ending right there. Starting small businesses. Guys, it's very important that we start businesses. I mean, it's sitting right here. Like, I can't make this stuff up. Once again, some people like to go to work. I'm not arguing with the workers either. You know, if you are a worker, I'm not knocking you because I need you as a boss, as a CEO of my business. Like, I need workers. But I also see that they're saying if you really want to be free, you need to be able to start a business. Because as long as you go to work, you're going to be capped. And as long as you go to work, you're going to get taxed at a rate that you can't change. There's nothing that you could do about your taxes when all you're doing is getting paid through a W-2. Now, if you start your business and you're still getting paid through the W-2, you can start funneling some of your money through the business. And There's other ways to work around things, but we do have to start opening some businesses for ourselves. Okay. In the meantime, it's telling us that it's trying to fix the student loan so we can buy more homes, right? We need to start buying more homes, guys. Renting is cool, but you need your money working for you. What I don't want you guys to do again is to get this relief and then just go give it back. What do I mean by that? Just go get cars and go eat up all the money and go buy new clothes from all of these white men who have these designer labels that are charging people $800 for a t-shirt. Like, do not go give these people your money back when you save it. That's not the purpose of this. But I'm telling you, a lot of Americans are going to go do it. And, we just can't argue with it. It's life. Now, for the most vulnerable borrowers, the effects of debt are even more crushing. Nearly 1/3 of borrowers have debt, but no degree. Do you guys hear that? Majority of the borrowers not majority, 1/3 of the borrowers for student loan debt don't even have a degree. So they kind of just like took on this debt and they just got to deal with it. No degrees coming out of it. Maybe have $20,000 worth of debt and they only got a $40,000 job. But whatever, it don't make sense. Okay. Now let's keep reading on. According to an analysis from the Department of Education of a recent cohort of undergraduates, many of these students could not complete their degree because of the cost of attendance was too high. Now, again, it doesn't say where they went for their cohort of undergraduates at. We don't know that. Right? They didn't put it right here. Maybe if we went to the Department of Education and dug a little deeper, we could figure out what cohort did they put together and where did those students come from, so they could come up with this data. And that's kind of how data works. Okay. I seen, I'm reading the chat as I'm reading this too. I seen the direct link to the application. I actually got some stuff right here, studentaid.gov, that we're going to take a look at. And we're going to read down here a little bit later. All of it might not be together yet, but we'll see. We'll keep reading. Where we at? About 16% of borrowers are in default. That's bad. Okay. Including nearly 1/3 of senior citizens with student debt. Man, when I read some of this stuff, like, data is data, but why the hell do we have senior citizens with student loan debt? That, you mean to tell me that they've had student loan debt since they were in their teens, 18, young 20s, and now they're senior citizens. Senior citizens do have a age to it. So they're in their late 50s, early 60s, and they're still trying to pay off student loan debt. Something ain't right about that equation to me, whatever. Which can result in the government garnishing a borrower's wages. So you better pay them student loans, because the government can garnish your wages or lowering a borrower's credit score, right? So when you don't pay those student loans, two things can happen to you. They can garnish your wages or they can lower your credit score. The student debt burden also falls disproportionately on Black borrowers. 20 years after first enrolling in school, the typical Black borrower who started college in 1995 to 1996 school year still owed 95% of their student loan. So if 1995 and 96 still owe their student loan, I mean, you can only imagine, where we're at here today in the Black community. Okay. This is exactly why I want to open up this room and teach us about this information, not to get emotional, but to get educated. I don't care about anybody's views and opinions about what's right or what's wrong. I'll stress that out again. I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I ain't the president. There's nothing that you could say to me that's going to change what happened today. Hell, there's nothing you could say to anybody that's going to change what happened. But if you did want to try to fight it, you need to go talk to some people in Congress. I don't know why the hell people be talking in rooms all day, arguing back and forth with each other, having a pointless conversation. Once again, nobody who is in charge of this asked you for your opinion. They just did it. And now you have to figure out how to pivot through this stuff. Today, President Biden is announcing a 3-part plan to provide more breathing room to Americans, working families as they continue to recover from the strains associated with COVID-19. Oh, man, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. I forgot I can't say them C words. This plan offers targeted debt relief as part of a comprehensive effort to address the burden of growing college costs and make the student loan system more manageable for working families. The president is announcing that the Department of Education will, I think we're about to get our 3 parts right here. 1, what did the president announce that the Department of Education will do? The first thing he said is provide targeted debt relief to address the financial harms of the pandemic, fulfilling the president's campaign commitment. I love that right there. He got to fill his campaign commitment. That's what it's all about in office. The Department of Education will provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients. Okay, key words right here. You need to go back and look at your loans. How much of it came through Pell Grants? This is very important. All right. And I don't know where to go look for this stuff at either. I that's part I can't. I don't have any student loans to go look up. I've already paid them all off. But if you do have student loans, and if somebody has already done it, by all means, throw it in the chat or something. Let us know. But you do need to go figure out how much of your student loans came through Pell Grants. Very important. Okay. And this was another tricky one that I read right here. And I can't quite think. I can't go back to the student loan. So, again, you're going to have to go do some of this homework. But it says that $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients. Okay, that was one key. But then it says with loans held by the Department of Education. I don't know how many Pell Grants. I don't know if all Pell Grants is held by the Department of Education. I just don't know. That's another tricky word that they threw in there. Why did they say Department of Education with Pell Grants? That's some stuff that you got to look up. It's looking a little shaky there. And then it says, and up to $10,000 in debt cancellation to non-Pell Grant recipients. Now, again, why did I heart right there? It said Pell Grants held by Department of Education is for $20,000, but then it said non-Pell Grants, and it didn't say held by anybody. It just said non-Pell Grant recipients can get $10,000. So if you're looking to get to $20,000 or anything above $10,000, okay? So anything above $10,000 needs to come from Pell Grants that are held by the Department of Education. Anything else that somebody says is their emotions talking and not facts. Okay? See, my man Jay Chris got upset at me. It's okay. All right. What did it say? Pell Grants are awarded based on household income at the time of. Yep, that is true. That is true. I just don't know what that means now. Let me ask you guys this. I want you to put a 1 in the chat. How many of you guys, and I was talking to someone earlier about this today because I know I did what I'm about to say. How many of you guys, when you went to go sign those student loan papers when you went to college, did you really read it? Put a 1 in the chat if you didn't read a damn thing or if you just signed it. Because I know I just signed it. I knew it said I need this money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to be able to go to school without this money. So I just signed the paper. So I cannot remember what was in that paperwork when I signed it, talking about a Pell Grant and this. I was waiting for my refund check to come back because they kept talking about how much you can get in refund checks. And I seen it right there. They like, this is what you're going to get back in refund. So to actually read it, I didn't read it. So how many of you guys actually didn't read it like myself? Put a 1 in the chat if you did not actually read it. If you did read it, put a 2 in the chat. I want to know who was the people that read it at the age of 18, 19. Oh, man, I think y'all lying if you say a 2. Oh, Sharice, it's 1. I know if it would be somebody who did read it, it would be a lady. Ain't no guys read that damn paperwork. Damn sure ain't no athletes read that paperwork. That was the last thing that we was thinking about. But if it was somebody that was Michael proving me wrong, I apologize. Michael said he read it to the T. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Trey said 1.5. Started reading it. But then that girl walked past him and he forgot all about it. I'm just joking with you, Trey. I don't know why you stopped reading. But anyways, we got to start reading more of the paperwork. One thing that I learned about life, man, if you're going to be signing stuff with money involved in it, it's very important that we really start reading. It's like those bad record deals that you guys hear people talk about. All of the artists back in the day, they complain about, getting screwed or whatnot. And I mean, it's because they didn't read the deal. And we did the exact same thing, guys. So going forward, you need to not only make sure you read the deals with money, but if you got children, if you got nieces, nephews that are going to college moving forward, like you need to remind them to read the paperwork because this is their life. Do you hear me? And this is what baffles me with school. Why is it that, before the age of 18, we can't make adult decisions in America? But when we go to college, we're allowed to make this crazy adult decision right here about putting debt on our head that we don't even know how to manage, which that brings up a whole nother situation. But again, it's very important that we start to get our financial education up. Okay. And it can start with you. You be the person that tells your niece, your nephew, your loved one, like, hold up, before you sign this paperwork for school. Black people love telling us you either going to go to school or get up out of this house. All right. But before you sign that paperwork for school, I need you to read over this. And I need you to say, do you want to make the decision to put this debt over your head? We can't just keep forcing people into this crazy debt that they're, as senior citizens, again, 1/3 of the student loan borrowers are senior citizens. That is crazy to me. That you're a senior citizen still paying off debt because you made an emotional decision when you was a kid about adulthood and nobody explained this stuff to you. But we're going to start changing this stuff up. Anyways, let's keep going. All right. So what does it say? Borrowers are eligible for this relief if, okay, we got a key word there, if their individual income is less than $125,000. So now we know two things. If you got Pell Grants that are held by Department of Education and you make under $125,000, you are eligible for $20,000 to be relieved. If you don't have Pell Grants, but you still got student loans that's held by anybody over $20,000 or more, but if it ain't a Pell Grant, you can get $10,000, but you still need to make less than $125,000. If you are married, together, you guys cannot make more than $250,000. And I would imagine that this is going to go based off your taxes for 2021, unless they hold this application process to the end of the tax year 2022 to make you apply in some way. But they're probably 9 times out of 10 going to go off your taxes. So married couples filing jointly, that's probably what they're going to be reading. If you just got married here this year, I would probably, try it out solo. What's the worst that they could tell you? But anyways, no high income individuals or high income households in the top 5% of incomes will benefit from this action. To ensure a smooth transition. Matter of fact, before I even do that, because they said some words right here, and I need you guys to get in the habit of looking stuff up. Top 5% of incomes. We gonna check that out. I need to know what they mean by top 5 of incomes. Okay. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. The top 5% income threshold is $208,000. Is that what it's saying? Okay. So if you make $208,000 as an individual, you're in the top 5%. So married, if you make over $400,000, you're in the top 5%. Things like this baffle me. Why the hell would you say under $125,000 and then follow it up with top 5% of incomes? It's just some things, right? I told you based off interpretation, there's some things that can be moved. All right. Now, to ensure a smooth transition to repayment and prevent unnecessary defaults, the pause on federal student loan repayments will be extended one time through December 31st, 2022. Borrowers should expect to resume payment in January 2023. Now, guys, if you don't fall for any of this, okay, as far as getting anything relieved, you will get your student loan payments deferred until January. Now, what you guys should do, okay, now, how can I say this? I'm not your accountant, or I'm not a professional to give you this advice, but I'm telling you my thoughts, what I would do. If I knew that I had to pay, well, we're going to read a little bit lower. They're going to cut the payment. I think that may be the next thing. But anyways, if you know that you have to pay $400 a month in student loans, okay, I'm just throwing that number out there. Don't go eat the $400 up. Like, you literally have, you ain't been paying student loans since the pandemic. You shouldn't have been eating that money up. You shouldn't have been going to go get items with that money. Instead, you need to invest that money. So you take the time right now, and every month of you not paying those student loans, you need to now be putting that into some investment vehicle that you can actually pull the money out later where you don't take a tax hit. So no, you can't throw this in the 401k, okay? Because you're going to take a tax hit if you go do that. But there are other investment vehicles out here, especially if you guys are on Clubhouse or one of these other platforms. Like, you can go learn about investing, and you now need to take that extra money, invest it right now until January comes. Then you need to pull it out, and you should have been able to double your money, right? And honestly, the interest and stuff from what you made off of your money should be enough to last you for all of 2023. Just imagine if you held your money, 6-8 months. Your money should be able to make enough money for another 6 to 8 months. So we have to be stewards of our money, right? Do not go eat this money up. Do not go take trips with this money. Do not go buy cars with this money. Don't get Balenciaga with this money. Don't try to stunt with this extra money that you got right here. It's now time to invest this extra money, because they want their money back if you're going to pay these student loans. Remember, we cannot default on our student loans, because what did they say? Either they're going to garnish checks or lower your credit score, one of the two. And we don't want either one to happen to us. We're going to pay our bills. Now, that was the first thing. The second part, I told you, what did they say? This is a 3-part program. I'm looking through here. Yeah. So this is the second part to their 3-part program that they announced. The second part is to make the student loan system more manageable for current and future borrowers. How are they going to do this? Well, the first step that they're going to do, okay, well, guys, remember, there's 2 steps. So the first one was the debt relief. So you can put that right there on your paper. That's a note for you. We went over the rules and regulations of how they're going to give debt relief. The second step is, how are they going to fix this system moving forward for the people who already got loans and for future people who are trying to get loans. That's the second part of this plan. All right. Now, how are they going to help this? Well, they're going to start cutting monthly payments in half for undergraduate loans. Keyword right there. Cutting payments in half for keyword undergraduate loans, not graduate loans. So if you went and took your ass to get that master's degree, that doctoral degree or whatever, that ain't what this said. It didn't say that it was going to cut your monthly payments in half for your graduate loans. For your doctoral loans, it said undergraduate loans. The Department of Education is proposing a new income-driven repayment plan that protects more low-income borrowers from making any payments and caps monthly payments for undergraduate loans. Once again, undergraduate loans at 5% of the borrower's discretionary income. Let's look this up. What is discretionary income? Okay, we're not just going to go past words. Discretionary income. All right. Disposable income versus discretionary income. Come on, man. We just wanted a definition. Come on, take me to it quicker. Here we go. Discretionary income is the amount of income a household or individual, okay, household or individual, they used discretionary, didn't they? So now we know that they're talking about a household income or individual's income. So if you're married, it's both of y'all. Both of y'all got discretionary income, has to invest, save, or spend after taxes and necessities. Okay? Like mortgage or rent, utilities, student loans, credit cards. Discretionary income is a subset of disposable income, and therefore there are some similarities between the two income types. All right. We still see this is what I love about the government, man. Why they use all these fancy words. Discretionary income is the money that's left after paying taxes. That's the base definition that you need to know. So that means after you get your money back from taxes, how much money you got left? W-2 workers, after you get your money back after taxes, how much money do you got left? Because they should not charge you for undergraduate loans more than 5%. So when 2023 comes around, okay, if you're getting charged more than 5% of your discretionary income, you need to give somebody a call. They need to lower that because they put a rule in place. Again, you need to make note of this information. All right. Half of the rate that the borrowers must pay now under the most existing plan. This means that the average annual student loan payment will be lowered by more than $1,000 for both current and future borrowers. I believe it's at 10% right now. So they're lowering it to 5%. That's a big hit right there. Right. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of that if you owe more money than $20,000 or $10,000. Do not allow the government to get away with charging you more money. They wrote these rules in the law, and we're going to make sure that they hold the law for what they wrote. The other way that they're going to be fixing the student loan system, fixing the broken public service loan forgiveness program by proposing a rule that borrowers who have worked at a nonprofit, okay, my people who are working at these areas, we need to pay close attention because you want your whole loan forgiven, right? Okay, by promising the rule that borrowers who have worked at a nonprofit, okay, who's in the military or in a federal, state, tribal, or local government receive appropriate credit towards loan forgiveness. Well, what does that mean? These improvements will build on temporary changes that the Department of Education has already made for PSLF, under which more than 175,000 public servants have already had more than $10 billion in loan forgiveness approved. Now, I want to take a stop right there because we're talking about loan forgiveness right now. There's a difference between that $20,000 in this loan forgiveness program. So we need to make sure that we're at studentaid.gov. Okay? You could type in student loan forgiveness into Google, but you need to make sure that when you click on that link, you're clicking on studentaid.gov to find out about these loan forgiveness programs. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole loan forgiveness thing today. That's not what we're here for, but you guys can read over this. And again, the same way I'm reading over this and I'm saying, hey, look up the definitions to things, highlight the keywords as you're reading them. You need to do the exact same thing for this loan forgiveness program. Okay. All my teachers out there, y'all need to listen, man. Don't be no public servant and not read through this stuff and you got student loans on your head. That would be crazy. And there's tons and tons of public servants right now who are working and not paying attention to these loan forgiveness programs. We have to be smarter than this, definitely in the black community, because we already behind the eight ball. These are ways that can set us free. Now, it's going to be paperwork. It's going to be confusing words. They're going to change things up to try to discourage you, but we ain't going to get discouraged to this free money. All right. So the third way that they're going to try to fix this thing, this student loan thing that they got going on, is to protect future student and taxpayers by reducing the cost of college and holding schools accountable when they hike up prices. The president championed the largest increase to Pell Grants in over a decade and one of the largest one-time influxes to colleges and universities. To further reduce the cost of college, the president will continue to fight to double the maximum Pell Grant and make community college free. Did y'all hear that? Keyword, community college free. We ain't got to go to these universities and stuff of that nature, the Dukes and all of this, the Howards and all that want to charge crazy prices, the Hamptons, you know what I'm saying? The Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, Princeton. You can go get yourself a nice free degree at your community college. Now, meanwhile, colleges have an obligation to keep prices reasonable and ensure borrowers get value for their investment. No debt they cannot afford. This administration has already taken key steps to strengthen accountability, including areas where the previous administration weakened rules. The Department of Education is announcing new efforts to ensure student borrowers get value for their college costs. So one thing that I would pay attention to is how much did the college cost before this and how much is the college costing now? Because if they're going to start hiking prices up, we got to pay attention to this stuff. Okay. Let's keep reading. All right. Provide targeted debt relief, fulfilling the president's campaign commitment. It's all about the campaign, baby. All of this stuff is just about the campaign at the end of the day. Because I told you they're going to move some money and take some money from somewhere else. I don't ever want y'all to think that the government is about to go in the hole giving everybody relief. That ain't going to happen. All right. Money's going to be made from another area. You just got to figure out which area it is. Now, to address the financial harms of the pandemic for low and middle income borrowers and avoid defaults as loan repayment starts next year, the Department of Education will provide up to $20,000 in loan relief to borrowers with loans held by the Department of Education. They keep saying that, man. I don't know. Can somebody who has their loans, send me an email or something tomorrow? If you could go look through your stuff and see, is Department of Education holding your Pell Grants? I just don't know why they would keep putting that in there. Borrowers with loans held by the Department of Education. I don't know who's holding these loans. I can't come up with it. I can't look it up. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate it. All right. Anyways, whose individual income is less than $125,000, $250 for married, who receive a Pell Grant. Nearly every Pell Grant recipient came from a family that made less than $60,000 a year. And Pell Grant recipients typically experience more challenges repaying their debt than other borrowers. Borrowers who meet those income standards but did not receive a Pell Grant in college can receive up to $10,000. So I would think if you just think back to when you went to school, you had to go off your parents' income because you ain't have no income. So just think, did your parent make more than $60,000? Now, I don't know if it's going to be combined in marriage. I wasn't financially educated back when I was a kid. Okay. So I don't know if these rules say, hey, when we're combined in marriage, is this going to be $120,000 in the household? I don't know what that rule was, but it could have been a little less. But if your parents was making, if your parent was making $60,000 a year or less, chances are that you were getting Pell Grant money. All right. That's what it says right here. But you still need to go look this stuff up for yourself. Don't just take the opinion of what I'm saying right now. You need to check your own situation and figure out what's going on. Okay. Now let's keep reading down. Nearly all Pell Grant recipients came from families with incomes of $60,000 or less. So 66% of the people came from $30,000 or less. Holy shit, Batman. 28% of the people came in the range of 30 to 60,000, and 7% of the people came from 7,000 or more. So, I mean, from what I'm looking at right here, I don't think they gave too many Pell Grants to people that was making over $60,000. Okay. Anyways, let's keep reading. The Pell Grant program is one of America's most effective financial aid programs. I don't know how, but its value has been eroded over time. Pell Grant recipients are more than 60% of the borrower's population. The Department of Education estimates that roughly 27 million borrowers will be eligible to receive up to $20,000 in relief, helping those borrowers meet their economic potential and avoid economic harm from the C word pandemic. So let me do some math here real quick. 27 million times 20,000. Oh man, it just voided me out. My calculator can't calculate that high. It's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Okay. Current students with loans are eligible for debt relief. Okay. Current students. Just reading it. Current students with loans are eligible for this debt relief. So if your child is in school, if your niece, your nephew is in school at this moment, that's what the line says. I ain't making it up. Current students. So if you got some loved ones in school, you need to give them a call. You need to tell their ass they need to look into this. Now, I just want you to think about yourself when you was in school. I'm going to think about myself. I can't say this was you or not, but I was partying like a mother in school. I wasn't thinking about no student loan reliefs and none of that. So I need you guys, okay? My black people, because that's what they said is hurting the most right now, the black people. My black people, I need you guys calling your loved ones. This is of importance. Call your aunt, call your uncle, whoever you need to talk to tell them about this information so your loved one that's in school at this moment can start taking advantage of this student loan relief program. And y'all know, guys, this money gonna dry up. I don't see this bad boy lasting forever. So we want to make sure that we getting all our people involved with it right now. Current students with loans are eligible for this debt relief. Borrowers who are dependent students, okay? Borrowers who are dependent students will be eligible for relief based on parental income rather than their own income. So if you have a student that's in school right now, they're going to base it off their parents' income. So we hope that their parents ain't making over $250,000 right now. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna say that, man. We want people making money. That's what I hate about some of this government stuff, man. They try to hold you back, and essentially they saying don't make too much money. You make too much money, you don't get no help. Cause trust me, I know for a fact. Hell, I got employees right now that make over $125,000, and they still need this help, but they can't get it. Because they went to school, they went and got certifications, they got them a job to pay them $140,000, $150,000 like they told us to do. They told us to go get these high paying jobs. Then all of a sudden they say, hey, man, you already getting paid a high paying job. I know it took you $80,000 in student loans, but you ain't eligible for this. It's kind of messed up, but it is what it is. If all borrowers claim the relief they are entitled to, these actions will provide relief up to 40 million borrowers, including canceling the full remaining balance of roughly 20 million borrowers. Now, guys, I'm going to have some trivia right here. I want to know how many of y'all was paying attention, because paying attention is crucial. It said 40 million borrowers will get some relief. But it says 20 million borrowers will get the thing canceled. How do you get your loan canceled? Can anybody tell me how are 20 million borrowers going to get their loan canceled? Would somebody guess? Put it in the chat. I want to know if you guys have been paying attention to what we've been reading. It's only one way that they stated that you can get your loans canceled. Okay. Anybody? No. Well, we got to go back over to this site right here. They only said one way that your loan can get canceled: through student loan forgiveness programs. How does the student loan forgiveness program work? You got to go work for them. You either got to work in their nonprofit, you got to work in a school, you got to be a public servant, right? It's the only way that you're going to get this bad boy canceled. Now, let's keep reading. Target relief dollars to low and middle income borrowers. The Department of Education estimates that among the borrowers who are no longer in school, nearly 90% of relief dollars will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. Wait a minute. What just happened? Target relief dollars to low and middle income borrowers. The Department of Education estimates that among borrowers who are no longer in school, I think that's a lot of us, we're not in school no more, nearly 90% of relief dollars will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. Wait a minute. What happened to 125? Wait a minute. Did things just change? So they're going to be looking at the individuals first that make under $75,000 a year. That's what I read. Again, you can read this and interpret it your own way. I'm telling you how I am interpreting the language that they put right here on the paper. I'll read it again. The Department of Education estimates that among borrowers who are no longer in school, keywords, nearly 90% of relief dollars will go. It didn't say maybe. It didn't say if. See, that's another key word, will. Nearly 90% of relief dollars will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. That's a whole game changer right there. That's a whole, $50,000 short from 125. Let's keep reading. No individual making more than $125,000 or a household making more than $250,000, the top 5% of incomes in the United States will receive relief. Well, wait a minute. See, this is what I love about reading. See, people get all in their emotions and and they keep talking 125, 125, 125, 250, 125. But I just read right here that it threw a curveball. It said 90% of the relief dollars. Well, I got to go back up, because that means only 10% is available to the people who make over $75,000. Like, I'm just reading what it's saying. Out of the 27 million people that they claimed are making under $125,000, that can have access to $20,000 through Pell Grants. Then they come and follow it up and say, well, look, I and again, I'm paraphrasing this. They come back and say, hey, man, these little nets from these house plants that I got are driving me insane. All right. But anyways, they come back and say, hey, wait a minute. We know there's a lot of people with all this money, but there's a lower class than the middle class. Middle class is 125, but we trying to hit the low income borrowers and tap into a couple of those middle. Well, the low income borrowers is under $75,000 a year. The combined two incomes together, that's $125,000 a year. All right, 75, 150, $150,000 a year. 25, yeah. That's $150,000 a year. So a two-income household at $150,000 should be eligible to access this money first. But if you make over $75,000 a year, I mean, it could be a little iffy right there. I'm not saying that it's going to be. I'm just telling you what I'm reading. All right, let's keep going. Help borrowers of all ages. Department of Education estimates that among the borrowers who are eligible for relief, 21% are 25 years and under, and 44% are 26 to 39. More than a third are borrowers age 40 and up, including 5% of borrowers who are senior citizens. So if you are over the age of 35, or if you're in the age of 35, you fall into that 44% bucket. But then again, you got to pay attention to how much you make. Advance racial equity. By targeting a relief to borrowers with the highest economic need, the administrations are likely to help narrow the racial wealth gap. Black students are more likely to have borrowed for school and more likely to take out larger loans. Black borrowers are twice as likely to have received Pell Grants compared to their white peers. Other borrowers of color are also more likely than their peers to receive Pell Grants. That is why an Urban Institute study found that the debt forgiveness programs targeting those who received Pell Grants while in college will advance racial equity. The only way that it'll advance racial equity is if you do not go eat that money up. If you do not go buy those new cars, if you do not go buy those new Balenciaga, Gucci shoes, Louis bags. Because if you're still in this bucket getting student loan relief, you ain't got the money to go buy that stuff, or else you wouldn't have been eligible for this student loan relief. So if you're getting this student loan relief, do not give them the money back. I cannot stress that enough. Okay? Now let's look at this chart. Nearly 90% of debt cancellation benefits will go to borrowers earning less than $75,000. So it says that 87% of those borrowers earn less than $75,000. That's who they're trying to target. Again, I'm not emotional about it. I'm just reading what the statistics say in the data. This is on whitehouse.gov. I didn't write this. I didn't come up with these charts. I didn't do any of this. These were the decision makers. They didn't ask people on Clubhouse about it. They didn't go ask Grant Cardone his views about it. They didn't ask the Breakfast Club what they was thinking about it. Like, this is the United States government that made a decision, and they're going to execute it no matter what you think about it. But once again, if you fall in this bucket, take advantage. And just because you make over 75,000 and you fall in at 13%, that don't mean that you like, oh man, they not going to hold me down. Do what you need to do to get this money. But what I'm telling you is if you do make over 75,000, you need to be first in line. Like, you need to read up on this stuff, find out when the application process is available, and you need to be the first in line because this money is going to dry up, as well as they're looking first for people who are making under $75,000. So you want to be the first in line for the people that's making over 75,000 and 125. Don't you wait until the middle of next year after you done heard people getting loan release or whatnot. You need to go get it now. Okay? You need to pay attention. Department of Education will work quickly and efficiently to set up a simple application process for borrowers to claim relief. The application will be available no later, keyword, no later than when the pause on federal student loan repayments terminates at the end of the year. So it's saying, hey, guaranteed by the end of the year, all this information will be available. It's guaranteed. Okay? So again, I'm just reading this for the first time today. I didn't look about when the application. I know it's going to probably do something with Department of Education. So if I was you, I would probably be going over to the Department of Education and figure out what they're putting together. Nearly 8 million borrowers may be eligible to receive relief automatically because their relevant income data is already available to the department. The reason your income data is available is because of the C word. Right? They did cut everybody checks. Do you hear me? They cut everybody checks already based off the income that they got. So they got everybody's income data. They could really just cut everybody the checks right now if they wanted to, because they already know how much money everybody make. But anyways, let's keep going. Thanks to American Rescue Plan, this debt relief will not be treated as taxable income for the federal income tax purposes. That's pretty dope. So if you get that money, you're not going to add this on as income when you go to file your taxes for 2023 because it's probably when the money's going to come out. So don't include that money for income coming in 2023. To help ensure a smooth transition back to repayment, the Department of Education is extending the student loan pause a final time through December 31st, 2022. No one with federally held loans has had to pay a single dollar in loan payments since President Biden took office. So once again, you should have been saving that money and investing, not saving it. Saving it ain't going to help you. You should have been investing that money so that money can make babies, and then babies could have paid your student loans. Now, make the student loan system more manageable for current and future borrowers. Fixing the existing loan repayment to lower monthly payments. The administration is reforming student loan repayment plans so both current and future low and middle income borrowers will have smaller and more manageable monthly repayments. The Department of Education has the authority to create income. I love that. You see what the Department of Education has the authority to do? They could have done a bunch of stuff a long time ago. They just didn't want to. But anyways, the Department of Education has the authority to create income-driven repayment plans, which cap the borrowers pay each month based on a percentage of their discretionary income. Most of these plans cancel a borrower's remaining debt once they make 20 years of monthly payments. So remember we was talking about that student loan relief? It looked like they're saying if you make 20 years of payments, that's crazy. If you make 20 years of payments, they'll relieve the rest. But the existing version of these plans are too complex and too limited. As a result, millions of borrowers who might benefit from them do not sign up. And the millions who do sign up are still often left with unmanageable monthly payments. So see, half the world is signing up for this stuff. The other half ain't. And please don't be a dickhead and tell me the percentage of half and half. I don't care, man. I don't care if it's 2% off. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. To address these concerns and follow through on Congress' original vision for income-driven repayment, the Department of Education is proposing a rule to do the following. For undergraduate loans, all right, again, for undergraduate loans, not for your graduate loans or your doctoral loans. But for undergraduate loans, they're looking to cut half the amount the borrowers have to pay each month from 10% to 5%. I told you it was 10% before. So they're looking to cut your student loan repayment. So if you think about what you were paying the previous year, 2 years or whatever before the C word happened, like that payment should be cut in half going into 2023. Okay, so you actually get to keep half of your student loan payment. But once again, we ain't going to be stupid with this money. All right. If you don't listen to me, if you don't even know how to invest, all right, what I want you to do is take the extra money and put it towards the principal of your student loan. Don't go eat the money up. Don't go traveling the world with the money. Put this towards the rest of your student loan's principal. I don't care if you got to call them and let them know, hey, this money's going towards my principal. But you need to let them know you're trying to get this principal paid off so you're not a senior citizen still paying some goddamn student loans. We don't want that happening in our black communities no more. Now, it's also looking to raise the amount of income that is considered non-discretionary income and therefore is protected from repayment, guaranteeing that no borrower earning under 225% of the federal poverty level. Okay, wait a minute. Why the hell didn't they just give us a number? Now we got to go look up what is the federal poverty level. See how they do stuff right there, and they make you got to go research stuff. All right, 2022 poverty guidelines for funding states, district, colonial, personal, family, household. Poverty guideline 13,000. Hell no. What is 200%? Using the information income guides to complete the form out on reduced free requests. 150% HD 200 is 27,000. Jesus Christ. Man. Wow. That's a little over. It's probably like $30,000. What did they say? 225%. This is at 200%. I believe they say 225%. Okay. Guaranteeing that no borrower earning under. Okay. This is the federal poverty level. At 225% is probably about $30,000. So anybody earning under $30,000. Okay. About the annual equivalent of a $15 minimum wage. Yeah. All right. For a single borrower will have to make monthly payments. Do you see that? So if you're making minimum wage, okay, raise the amount of income that's considered income, therefore is protected from repayment, guaranteeing that no borrower earning under 225 federal poverty level about the annual equivalent of $15 million with wage borrower will have to make a monthly repayment. I don't know if I'm reading that right, but if you making minimum wage, You don't have to make monthly repayments? Okay. I don't know too many people making middle wage, but the middle of the United States. I think everybody in the middle, well, not everybody, but a lot of jobs in the middle of the United States is making minimum wage. All right. Let's continue. Forgive loan balances after 10 years of repayment. Okay, so we read that the original was 20 years, but now they're trying to change it to 10 years. Instead of 20 years for borrowers with original loan balances of $12,000 or less. What? The Department of Education estimates that this reform will allow nearly all community college borrowers to be debt-free within 10 years. Oh, man, all I can do is just laugh at this stuff. So they're changing the terms from 20 years to 10 years for borrowers with a loan balance of $12,000 or less. The only way that you was going to get a $12,000 or less loan balance for the majority if you went to go take on a 4-year education or whatnot, I think community college is 2 years. I don't know if they go up to 4 years or not. But this $12,000 is strictly for community college. Like, I don't know too many 4-year colleges that is going to equal $12,000. I could be wrong. I don't know. This is why you have to look up your own personal situation. These are just rules. I'm giving you guys a base overview. You need to take your own situation and compare it to the information right here. Go do your own homework. This ain't looking to the person to the left of you and the right of you and comparing yourself. This is for you to figure out where you're at this moment so you can figure out how to maneuver through this thing. Now, cover the borrower's unpaid monthly interest so that unlikely other existing income-driven repayment plans, no borrower loan balance will grow as long as they make their monthly payments, even when the monthly payment is $0 because their income is low. These reforms would simplify loan repayment and deliver significant savings to low and middle income borrowers. For example, a typical single construction worker making $38,000 a year with a construction management credential would pay only $31 a month compared to $147 a month. Y'all hear that? So they pay now under the most recent income-driven repayment plan for annual savings of nearly $1,400. So, I mean, that's pretty clutch right there, guys. That you get to, cut your bills in half. I can't knock that. Now, a typical single public school teacher with an undergraduate degree making $44,000 a year would pay only $56 a month on their loan compared to $197 a month they pay now under the recent income-driven repayment plan for annual savings of $1,700. So, I mean, to put $1,700 back in your pocket every year. Let me show you something. What is it called? Calculator. Interest. I can't think of the name of the damn calculator right now. Compound interest calculator. That's what I wanted. Okay, so let's say you get $1,700. Okay. What does it say? 197.54. So what is that? 150. So let's say 130. I'm just guesstimating. So let's say we get $130 for the next 10 years because that's what they want to happen. All right. Let's say that we can invest our money in some good investment vehicles. Let's say we're getting 10% return. Okay. It's going to compound. We'll do annually. In 10 years, you just put $30,000 in your pocket. By just taking that extra 100, which most people like, oh, this is just a little $130 extra. That ain't going to change my life. Well, it will if you invest it. This is $30,000. Do you understand? A lot of people aren't seeing $30,000 a year, definitely according to the statistics that we just read. These individuals, they just bought out the teacher making $44,000 a year, which we know 33% is coming out in taxes. So they really not seeing $44,000 a year. Plus they got to live and maintain their life. So this $30,000 in 10 years, could be huge to somebody. And hopefully you're starting to make more money over the 10 years so you don't just keep putting 130. And hopefully, I mean, you can raise this bad boy to $400 because you're making more money. And all of a sudden you at $80,000. It's very important that we learn how to invest our money. Our money got to make babies for us. That's the only way that you get free. A typical nurse making $77,000 a year who is married with 2 kids would only pay $61 a month on their undergraduate loans. See how they threw that in there? Undergraduate loans, that's all they talking about. Compared to the $295 they pay now under the most recent income-driven payment plan. That's a $2,800 a year savings. Now, you notice they said $77,000 a year. Okay. But they did say married with 2 kids. So you got to think of the terms that they said earlier. This is a married household. So that means that the other person is making that much too. All right. In order for this calculation to come out to the way that they said. Now, for each of these borrowers, their balances would not grow as long as they're making their monthly payments, and their remaining debt would be forgiven after they make the required number of qualifying payments. Further, the Department of Education will make it easier for borrowers who enroll in this new plan to stay enrolled. Starting the summer of 2023, borrowers will be able to allow Department of Education to automatically pull their income information year after year, avoiding the hassle of needing to recertify their income annually. That's pretty dope, right? But that does mean that they're going to be tracking your stuff, all right? And you can't lie. Because if you allow them to look at your stuff automatically year over year, you ain't going to be able to lie. You ain't going to be able to lie on a whole lot of stuff. All right. Ensuring public servants receive credit towards loan forgiveness. Borrowers working in public service are entitled. Keyword, entitled. They didn't say maybe. They didn't say kinda. They said public services are entitled to earn credit towards debt relief under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, the PSLF. But because of complex eligibility restrictions, historic implementations, failures, and poor counseling given to borrowers, many borrowers have not received the credit they deserve for the public service. So if you in that public service and you ain't received your credit, it's time to raise them hell. They already know about it. They aware about it. They trying to fix it. Department of Education has announced time-limited changes. Oh my goodness. Keyword. Time-limited changes to PSLF that provide an easier path to forgiveness of all outstanding debt for eligible federal student loan borrowers who have served at a nonprofit in the military, federal, state, tribal, local government for the last 10 years. So if you've been a teacher for these last 10 years, if you've been in public service for these last 10 years, it's time to start waking up. You need to get this money. All right. Those who have served less than 10 years may now more easily get credit for their service to date towards eventual forgiveness. These changes will allow eligible borrowers to gain additional credit towards forgiveness, even if they had been told previously they had the wrong loan type. The Department of Education also has proposed regulatory changes to ensure a more effective implementation of the PSLF program moving forward. Specifically, the Department of Education has proposed allowing more payments to qualify for the PSLF, including partial, lump sum, and late payments, and allowing certain kinds of deferments and forbearances, such as those for Peace Corps, AmeriCorps services, National Guard duty, military services to count towards that program. The Department of Education also proposed to ensure the rules work better for non-tenured instructors whose college need to calculate their full-time employment. So once again, if you've been serving for 10 years, you really need to look into this stuff. To ensure borrowers are aware of the temporary changes, the White House has launched 4 PSLF days of action dedicated to borrowers in specific sectors. Government employees, educators, healthcare workers, and first responders and nonprofit employees. You can find out information about temporary changes to that program. You must, keyword, you must apply to PSLF before the temporary changes in October 31st, 2022. Hey, did y'all just hear me right there? Somebody, what was the date? If you've been a public servant for 10 years, you must apply before October 31st, 2022. This ain't going to roll over into 2023. All right? If you've been in this situation today at this moment, your ass needs to get over to pslf.gov and figure out this application process. Because October is here, if you know it or not. Protecting borrowers and taxpayers from steep increases in college costs. How are we going to do that? While providing this relief to low and middle class income borrowers, the president is focused on keeping college costs under control. Under this administration, students have had more money in their pockets to pay for college. The president signed the largest increase to maximum Pell Grant in over a decade and provided nearly $40 billion in college and universities through American Rescue Plan, much of which was used for emergency student financial aid, allowing students to breathe a little easier. Additionally, the Department of Education has already taken before I read this next part, guys, you need to go read the American Rescue Plan. Okay. Definitely if we got people in school and stuff right now who may have been struggling. Trust everybody was impacted by the C word. Everybody. It wasn't one person out here that wasn't impacted. Even if you tell yourself I wasn't really impacted, you was impacted. Okay. Like here's what I always say. Like, did you ever leave out of your house at like 12 in the afternoon and the grocery stores are packed? Like the roads have a bunch of people on them just randomly in the afternoon. That's an impact. Everybody has been impacted by the C word. It ain't one person in this United States that did not get impacted by the C word. So when they say if you was impacted, they ain't talking about whether you was sick or not and you caught it. Everybody, you must hear me. Every single person was impacted by that C word. So anytime I see them talking about who was impacted by the C word, I was impacted. So were you. And then we can move on to the next hurdle that they got through there. But being impacted by the C word happened to everybody. What story do you want me to give you of how it impacted? I had to sleep a little bit longer. It impacted me. All right. Now, additionally, the Department of Education has already taken significant steps to strengthen accountability so that the students are not left with mountains of debt with little payoff. The agency has reestablished the enforcement unit in the Office of Federal Student Aid, and it's holding accreditors feet to the fire. In fact, the department just withdrew authorization for the accreditor and oversaw school responsibles for some of the worst for-profit scandals. Well, we already knew that. The agency will also propose a rule to hold career programs accountable for leaving their graduate with mountains of debt they cannot repay, a rule the previous administration repealed. Building off these efforts, I don't know why they always had to talk about the previous administration. They just want to stir people's emotions up. Building off of these efforts, the Department of Education is announcing new actions to hold accountable colleges that have contributed to the student debt crisis. These include publishing an annual watch list of programs with the worst debt levels in the country, so that students registering for the next academic year can steer clear of these programs with poor outcomes. They also include requesting institutional improvement plans from the worst actors that outline how the colleges with the most concerning debt outcomes intend to bring down debt levels. So they're going to make an announcement of all the colleges out there who ain't acting right. So again, Department of Education needs to be our friend. All right. Also, if you go to whitehouse.gov, you could type this stuff into Google. Just type in fact sheet President Biden student loan relief. It'll bring you to the whitehouse.gov. Okay. And that's my number one resource is a .gov website, not somebody's .coms, not anybody's blogs, not no Fox 5 news channel. I'm reading websites. And yes, you're going to have to read. Okay. And you're going to have to look up some words like I just did. This is exactly how I win government contracts. The exact same way. I read through and then I go look up the words. Okay. Did I just go on mute there? I don't know if I went on mute or not. Hopefully I didn't go on mute. But anyways, I don't know. I can't hear myself anymore. Can you guys still hear me? I don't know. Hopefully you can. We're going to keep this party rolling. Now, again, what you guys also want to do is, let me make sure. Cool. What you guys also want to do is at the bottom, you'll see right here, studentaid.gov/debt relief. Again, this is going to bring you over here to the loan forgiveness programs. It's very important if you've been serving for over 10 years that you read through this stuff. Now, I'm not going to go through it again tonight because my main focus was to go through this new information right here. But I hope that I went through it in a way that you could understand it, that you guys could damn. I drew a blank right there. Hopefully that I said it in a way that you can resonate with it and understand, like, does this fit me or not? That's the thing. If it does not fit you, don't worry about it. Don't get emotional about anything else that's going on out here. Just keep moving forward with your life. But if this does fit you, I need you to take advantage of it. You must take advantage of it. It is of importance that you take advantage of it, because if you don't, okay, here's the thing. If you do not take advantage of this information, it's going to be used against you. And we don't want that information used against us, guys. All right. Once again, your lack of financial education will be used against you. So I need you guys to read through this again. All right. We did it briefly here on YouTube, but you need to do it for yourself. And once again, if you got loved ones in school, if you know you got an aunt, an uncle, a great aunt, great uncle, third cousin or something that's in school, they got kids in school, you need to call them, man. It is of importance that we help our family out. Don't just hoard this information in and say, oh, I heard it, but it don't impact me, so I'm going to leave it alone. Like, that's not why the hell I took my time out to read this with y'all tonight. That's the last thing that I wanted y'all to do. Trust me. The absolute last thing that I wanted you to do is just hoard this information in and don't tell your loved ones about it. Y'all read that it's saying the largest impact community is the black community. The reason this stuff is a large impact on us because we don't like to transfer information. We don't like to talk with our people. We don't want people to be one up on us or whatever we coming up with. We are struggling as a whole. So stop thinking about your goddamn self for a second and start thinking about the other people around you that need help. Now, I ain't telling you to go out here and try to save all black America. I told you save your family. It's your goddamn family. Help them. They need your assistance. Trust me, they do. You were smart enough to sit your ass on this line for an hour and a half. Now it's your duty to first get yourself straight. That's the number one thing. Just like the plane, put your mask on first. You've gotten this information. I need you to figure it out for yourself if you fit any of this criteria. If you don't fit any of this criteria, your next duty is to figure out who the hell in your family does it fit. And don't try to save the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Can you save one? So once you save that one, you can help save the next. But guys, it's going to start with one of us. Somebody has to make the sacrifice in the family. We cannot keep going through this shit year over year and just keep allowing them to put out this motherfucking statistics talking about black people. See, only in our community do we read statistics and then we live up to the statistics that's being put out there. We do not have to live up to the statistics that are out there. We can change. We read the statistics and then we say, hey, this ain't going to be us moving forward. But it's going to start with you. Are you going to make the change for yourself first and then just reach out to one more person. I'm not asking you to reach out to 100 people, just one more individual that could use your assistance. Like, don't go talk to your grandmother and you know your grandmother never went to school. Don't go talk to your mother or your father and you know they never went to school. My parents didn't go to school. I have no purpose to talk to them about this student loan relief program. They've never went to school. They don't have any student loan debt. They got other problems going on that I need to talk to them about. But student loan is not one of them, so I'm not even going to bring up the conversation to them because I'll be wasting their time and mine too. But I know you know someone in your family that's either in school at this moment. That's really who I want you to help. If anybody that you want to select in your family to help, who's in college right now? Help them out first so they don't have to go through this thing called adulthood with this student loan sitting over their head. You know what that burden feels like. So help out our younger generation. Our younger generation is going to be the ones that set us free. Because our old ass, we already in our ways. The youngins is who need us. So please, by all means, take this information, reread it, and then go talk to your loved ones about it. I do want to open the floor up, man. If anybody wants to give some input, please do not give me your emotional opinions, okay? I didn't get emotional about any of this stuff. I'm just reading the statistics off. I don't care about your feelings or views about a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care about your views or opinions of what you think are right or wrong about this situation. If you want to give healthy dialogue, then please, we can do that. But do not give me your goddamn about how you feel about this situation, because I don't care. I didn't make the shit up. That's why I don't care. And I'm not about to sit here and argue with you back and forth on what you think is right or wrong or how things should go or shouldn't go. I'm not the god president. I'm not over the Department of Education. I'm just another mother sitting right here talking to y'all just like everybody. I'm just like you. We ain't got no power. But what we do have is some information to take advantage of. So once again, if anybody would like to talk or you have some information that you want to put in the chat, by all means, you can put that in the chat. I'm going to read through some of these things before we get out of here. Kay, what's going on? How you doing? Let the people know who you are, where you're from, and did you have something that you wanted to add in? What was that, Kay?
Hi, my name is Kay. I'm from Cali. I'm just coming in the room. I was notified of the loan forgiveness that Biden was speaking of yesterday, late last night, and then I saw the title, so I decided to drop in and see what's going on here.
Well, I appreciate you dropping in. And definitely, guys, I'm glad that you're looking into it. Look into it more. I'm reading my man Larry here. Shout outs to Larry. 40K forgiven, man. That's what's up, brother. I would love to, is Larry still in here? Man, Larry, I would love to hear how the hell did you get 40K forgiven? Did it just happen? What's going on, man? Let the people know how did that happen for you, man. That's kudos to you, brother.
I need that.
You feel me? It takes an army right here. What's going on with you, Larry, man? Tell us what's going on with that 40K. Jesus. Oh, Larry, we got to get you. I don't know if it's your first time up here talking. You see that mic in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen? That'll allow you to talk right there. But my people on YouTube.
Right there?
There you go. Yeah, we can hear you now, Larry. What's going on, man?
Gotcha. I appreciate you having me on. Worked for public service for over 20 years. I didn't think this thing would work. You know, we knew about the program before. I thought it was a scam. I listened to the news. I heard that they said you go to the Fed Loan Services website, you fill out the paperwork. It took a couple months, maybe about 4 or 5 months. But yesterday, I got my paperwork saying, congratulations, over $40,000 forgiven. Man, I started crying like a big baby. I'm telling you, it's crazy. You know what I can do with this extra money, man? Investing. getting into your program, doing this government contracting thing, man. This is uplifting for me, and I can do some things for my daughter moving forward because she's just starting college. So it's a big thing, man.
You damn right, that's a big thing, Larry. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's $40,000.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kay.
Yeah.
This is Kay. Question. Now, when they said that you can get your Fed loan servicing loans forgiven, are they speaking of the loans that have been sold out to other companies? Or are they only specifically saying they have to be private or et cetera? Or I mean, what are they specifically talking about?
This is the thing I had to do. I had some private and I had some government loans. So I paid off maybe about $30,000 of loans. I had another 40 something left, but it was private. They told me I had to convert my loans over to the government. I did that, and then they forgave them. They'll tell you the process all on the website, Fed Loan Services. You look up public service loan forgiveness, and you'll see the information. It'll walk you right through it. Fill out the paperwork. You get your employer to. It's a one-page document. You put your information in. You send that information to your human resource department. That individual will sign off, clarifying that you do work there and the history that you've been there, and then it takes a couple of months, and then they just sent it back yesterday telling me all my stuff is forgiven. So I'm telling you, it's a blessing.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Come on, Larry. That's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate you for coming up here and sharing that with us, man. Sometimes you got to hear it. As you said previously, you know, you thought it was a scam, and it's other people that probably think that too. So
yeah, it was a scam. 1% getting this stuff covered before this happened, man. It was a scam. It was a scam.
That's what it's all about, man.
So, but I'm glad yeah.
No, Larry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just, hey, I'm excited for you, brother. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you was excited too, but I'm excited for you.
Man.
I'd love to hear this.
Tears was coming to my eyes, man, when that joint came out. I said, yo, I don't believe this. I saw that congratulations up at the top, and I was reading it. I just started getting teary-eyed. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I'm as far as that, I'm debt free. Besides my house, I paid on this thing. Listen, I had $40,000 left. When I looked at my thing, and they told me how much I would have to pay, I was going to pay another $100,000 for the $40,000 that I had left. It was ridiculous.
Jesus. Yeah,
it was ridiculous. Already paid over $100,000. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Hey, well, look, Larry, I'm appreciative that you was able to get that thing cleared through, man. Take that extra money and let's put it to work now, baby.
You know it.
And don't let your kids, as they grow up, go through the same type of situation. That's what it's all about, man. We learn.
Hell no. I'm not doing it. Not letting them doing it.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I appreciate it. Y'all jump on there and get that stuff done. It's happening, I'm telling you.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Larry. Bella, I seen that you came to us. You're more than welcome, my brother. Bella, would you let the people know who you are, where you're from, and I guess you're providing some great information to us. I know you got some bars to drop on us. Let us have it.
I've got some good information, Travis. Oh my goodness. Larry got 40. I got 57.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
$57,000.
Hold on, what did you say? 57?
$57,000.
Nice.
Larry, I cried too.
Congrats. Yeah, I cried.
How'd you do that, Bella?
Let me tell you, I applied back in, I want to say April. The program came out in October, last October, and I heard about it in like February.
What program? What program?
Oh, sorry, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
Okay.
Let me restate that. The PSLF program has been out for a long time. The Biden administration made some significant rules changes in October last year. And I heard about it in February, where they will allow you to claim payments that you previously had not claimed. So, saying that to say, if you the way the program originally worked is you had to sign up for PSLF before you start paying, or for any subsequent payments after you apply, you could get forgiven. Well, I didn't apply. I knew it, but I didn't apply because back then, the lady told me, well, you have to reconsolidate your loans and your payment will be, about $700 a month. And I couldn't afford $700 a month.
He
And
told me the
so,
same thing.
yeah. And my payment, what is it, based on your income payment was like 350. So why would I change to $700 a month? you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, when this program came out and I heard about it in February, I was telling like everybody, and then they started giving more and more information. I went to the website, studentaid.gov, and I read, and lo and behold, it was true. They made changes so people with all kinds of loans can get forgiven. It's not just direct loans, technically it's just direct loans, but if you previously had FFELP loans, Pell Grant loans, even if you have FFELP and you're a parent and you have a plus loan, you can get those forgiven. So all you have to do is apply. You get each of your employers for however long you've paid and you've worked in government service, or you work for the state, or you work for, state, local, federal government. You work as a teacher, you work as a first responder, you work anybody who generally gets those kinds of loans, special kinds of loans, quote unquote. You're eligible. And public service loan forgiveness gives or forgives every single payment you've made. You get to go back and reclaim all the payments that you've made in the past with all the different loan programs, and count those payments towards your 120 payment total.
Mm.
So yeah, $57,000.
Congrats.
Yes, it is the best thing going. And the recent 20,000, 10 or 20,000, that's for everybody. Public service only applies to public servants, right? But the recent 10 or 20,000 applies to people who had Pell grants for 20,000 and other grants for 10,000. But I mean, hey, at the very least you can get is 10,000 forgiveness, and that equals probably about 4 or 5 times that, over time. Because I originally borrowed about 25,000, literally. My loans, I've been paying on my loans for 10 plus years, and it's still it's still $57,000, and I've been paying 350 for 10 years.
Jesus.
Any other loan I would have paid off, right? Any other loan I would have paid off by now, but not the student loan. It's like loan sharking. And I'm so glad that they're finally doing something about it. It really is. It really, really is. It's loan sharking, legal loan sharking.
I say it ain't like
So,
it is.
It really is. I encourage everyone to tell everyone about it. If you know somebody working for a public institution, like that is not for profit, if you work for a hospital that is not for profit, if you're training and you're working for a school that's not for profit, then you qualify. So I just encourage everybody to do it.
Well, listen, I appreciate yourself and Larry for sharing that. Whether you guys know it or not, y'all made an impact on somebody. To hear the $97,000 off the books and 2 individuals, I mean that's amazing to me. Like I'm giving y'all kudos for even going through the process. When others, I'm sure, around you didn't have any advice or probably was telling you it's a scam too. You guys took the leap of faith and was willing to do it on your own. So big congratulations to both of you all. We got to continue this, guys. We have to clear this off the books in our community. And as you guys heard, these are two individuals right here who went through. And one key thing that I heard Bella said, she said, I read. Like, again, I'm reading through this stuff right here, but you have to go back and read for yourself for what's in your situation and then fight for this stuff, man. $57,000 and $40,000 is not some chump change. This is life-changing money right here, and you want to make sure that you all are taking advantage of it. Tap in with Larry. Tap in with Bella if you need some support from individuals who have done this before. It's important. It's important, guys, that we know this is real stuff. This ain't no scam or nothing. I mean, the process is a scam as far as them taking your money. But as far as getting relieved, this is serious. This is real, and it ain't going to last forever. That's the key. You do not want to be one of those individuals that got left behind because you didn't feel like reading through the information that the government provided. We talking about $40,000 and $57,000 off of your books. People are paying. We just read it. Senior citizens are still paying for these loans, and you could just get it all wiped out. So again, Bella and Larry, as well as Kay, I appreciate you three for coming up here, sharing this information, using your voice to the community, because again, it takes just a single individual to change somebody else's world. And I'm pretty sure you two have done that tonight. So I want to thank both of you guys for doing that. Also, if anybody else has any questions or anything, by all means, feel free. You can come up here and ask, or you could utilize the chat. I see it said, how long does one have to be under a nonprofit to qualify? Go ahead, Bella.
Can I get that one, Travis?
Hey, you the $57,000 go. I'm just out here reading.
Let me tell you. I know. I read it from end to end. I really did. So, at any payments you may. Okay, so the way the PSLF program works is, like I said, you work for government, you work for nonprofits, you work as a teacher, first responder, whatever the case may be. Any level of government, any nonprofit, you can qualify. So any payments you made during your time of employment with any of those kinds of employers, you can claim those payments. That's the big key. That's the big benefit. Like I said, it used to be you had to apply for PSLF and then start making payments. Biden changed that. He said, okay, you can go back and recapture all those payments that you made, whether you have a consolidated loan. Some people say it used to be where if you had consolidated, you couldn't reconsolidate. Well, my loans were consolidated. I was paying one payment to Navient every month. And what happens is you need to have time. You got to apply now because you have to have time to get your payments, get your loans reconsolidated into what is called a direct loan. The direct loan is the one that's being forgiven. Well, under the PSLF program, that is. And so once you reconsolidate into a direct loan, they'll look at all the payments that you've made. What you do is super easy. You fill out a form with your name and, all your information. And you put the just like on a resume, the month and year you worked for this employer from this date to this date, and you get that employer to sign off on the paperwork and you send it in. That's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's so easy. It's not a ton of paperwork, but you do have to get each employer. Say you've had 5 employers over the last 15 years, and for 5 of those years or 7 of those years or whatever the case may be, you worked for a private entity, well, you can't claim the private entity payments, but you can claim the public entity payments that, or while you were employed by a public entity, that is, you can claim those payments, and they count towards your 120 payments that are part of the program, and you get forgiven for the remainder. They add those payments up, and you get forgiven for the remainder of them.
Blessings.
Super duper easy.
And I wanted to say something as well. This is Larry. I wanted to say something really quick, and it doesn't matter how many payments. If you were late at times, you were in default and then came out of default, you paid half the money and couldn't afford it. It doesn't matter. Anything you paid towards, long as it's 120, it counts. And the deadline is October, so you guys need to get on it. This October, it ends.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And it does not have to be consecutive. That's another misconception people have.
Exactly.
You don't have to work for the government for 10 years. I mean, I happen to work for the federal government. So I've only been working for the federal government for 8 years. But before that, I worked for a nonprofit about 7 or 8 years ago. And I was in repayment then. I took off for forbearance and all that kind of stuff. You know how we do. Put in that hardship, like, oh, I need a little relief now. I need to get a little something, some new furniture. Put it in forbearance. But the good part also, too, about PSLF is that I think it's 30 months of COVID count toward your 120 payments.
Wow.
So you starting at 90 payments, not 120.
Wow. Come on now. Y'all get some information dropped right here tonight. I appreciate you, Bella and Larry, for coming up here and sharing that with us, because I don't know. One thing I don't do is lie about things that I don't know, and you two have been through it, right? So you've experienced it. Not only have you experienced it, you've successfully conquered this thing, getting that stuff relieved. So kudos to you, and again, I thank you two for coming up here and sharing. LaShonda, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Would you let us know who you are, where you're from, and did you have a question or comment?
Yes, Travis. Thank you for having this space. So my name is LaShonda. I am here in the St. Louis, Missouri area. And thanks for bringing me up as well. Larry and Bella, thank you both for speaking on this particular topic. Within your conversation, you were answering some of the questions that I had. But for clarification, going back to receiving 30 months of credit due to COVID, is that something that that automatically takes place, or is that something that one will have to apply for? And my second question is, just for clarification, I think you pretty much answered it, Bella, is I have been in and out of the government space and the nonprofit space, but not consistently. So my question is, do they take the time that you have served in those spaces, and is it just kind of like a total month between the government and working in the school district, and then also a non-for-profit, since it wasn't consistent throughout the years? Is that how they look at it for the forgiving part?
Yeah. Any payments you made during the years that you worked for a nonprofit are the payments that you can recapture. If you worked, say for instance, for 2 years you worked as a teacher, then you went to work for a for-profit entity, still teaching, but for-profit entity. It's only the 2 years that you worked for the school system that you can reclaim. And then it is as far as the 30 months of COVID, all loans were eligible to be put into forbearance during COVID. And because you can go back and recapture those payments or non-payments, the 30 months of COVID count towards your 120 payments. So the PSLF program is 10 years of payments. So that's 12 times 10 equals 120. That's where we're getting the 120 from. So if you made, during those 2 years, say you worked as a teacher in the public school system, that's 24 payments. So that'd be 90. You're starting at 90 because you got 30 months of COVID. 90 minus 24 is what, 66? So you'll if you have 66 additional months of payments, then you'll be 100% forgiven for anything that you currently owe once your loan application is approved. You still got to pay while your loan application is still pending. But once it's approved and you get that letter in the mail, you don't have to pay anymore at all. And I think I heard that payments are suspended through the end of December, but I'm not positive about that one.
Yep, that's true.
It is.
Okay, thank you so much. My next question is, my loans are currently consolidated, but if I heard you correctly, you say that we will have to have them reconsolidated. So going back through that same process, is that correct?
That's right. That's what I had to do. I had to get my loans reconsolidated from FFELP loans into a direct loan. And that process took about a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, right now, yeah, about right now, everybody's everybody's applying, so it may take a little bit longer. But my process, I went through it. I applied for the reconsolidation in like March, I think it was, because I heard about it in February. I applied for reconsolidation in March. It was approved sometime in April, and then I applied for forgiveness, and I got my letter. I want to say I got my letter the end of May or in June. I can't remember exactly. I don't know why I can't remember, because that was a happy day. So I'm gonna go back and look at that letter. But yeah, it took about the total process from reconsolidation to receiving your forgiveness letter took about 3.5, 4 months for me. But you know, it might take a little bit longer for you, but as long as because everybody's applying now, but as long as you get your application in before the end of October, what I've been told by people in the Department of Education, because they came and did a workshop with us to tell us about it, you know, for the federal government, they said as long as your application is in and complete by the end of October, then you'll still be considered.
Okay, thank you so much, Bella.
Sure.
We are getting bars. Oops, my bad. We are getting some bars dropped in here tonight. You hear me? Look, if I had these student loans, I would be tapping into Bella. I would be tapping into Larry, following them around till I figure out how to get this student loan thing. And read for yourself, guys. Like, don't just be asking a bunch of questions without doing your own reading and understanding the information. But by all means, you got two people right here. $97,000. I don't think y'all understand the power of $97,000.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I was so happy that day. I can't even tell you, because this is the thing. I had resigned myself that I was going to pay $300 or as little as I could every month for the rest of my life. Seriously. Because they will take, prior to the Biden administration, they will take your Social Security. So don't be confused. You cannot discharge student loans with bankruptcy, because they made that special exception when they changed the bankruptcy laws a few years ago. And you cannot get away with not paying it. They will garnish your Social Security check. Trust and believe they will do that. It's within their power to do it. And so I used to make a joke with my mom. I was like, you know what? I would be paying these things till I die, so I'm just going to pay as little as possible. and just keep it moving. Pay as little as possible, because until I die, I'm going to be paying it, because I cannot pay this $57,000 off, because it's not going to stay at 57,000. Minus my payments. It's going to keep compounding every single month.
Yep.
That's the albatross that's around people's necks. Like I said, I borrowed like 27,000. I don't remember the actual number, but it was in the 20s. Literally, I literally have been paying forever, and still owe 57,000.
That's crazy.
It's a scam. It's a scam.
You ain't never lied, Larry.
So there's really actually three kind of programs. It's the PSLF program, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, where you work for the government or you work for a nonprofit. It's also this new program that they announced like today, yesterday, with the 20,000 and the 10,000. And then also too, for veterans, if you are at 100%, totally disabled, then you can get your student loans discharged. So if you know any veterans who are at 100% disability level, they can get their loans discharged very, very easily as well.
Come on now. Come on. Look, we got opportunities out here, ladies and gentlemen. We got opportunities, but we got to go do it. As I seen in the chat, and this is real stuff. This is why I'm glad that we're having this conversation like this. And the reason why I wouldn't allow no emotional information to get involved in this. I'm not here to argue. Okay. I'm just here to get you that money, get $97,000. But I seen this message in the comments. I think that sometimes we talk or think ourselves out of what we think we can't receive. Fill out the paperwork to the best of your knowledge and let them tell you no. Like, guys, just do it. Do this stuff that's right here, and don't give your emotional views of what you think. Thinking actually leads us wrong a lot of times, okay? Especially if we're not educated in what we're thinking about, okay? So, again, we got two individuals right here, Bella and Larry, who shared with you all. This is a reality. This is real stuff that's going on, and it can change your life if you allow it to happen. So I hope that after everyone heard what's going on, after we read through this information tonight, after you heard these two individuals get rid of over $97,000, oh my, man, I need somebody to drop the dollar sign emoji or the money bag emoji in the comments for this $97,000. That's a lot of money that's just cleared off the books, and it was money that was going to keep accumulating if they didn't get it off of the books. And they got it off the books. So go ahead, drop those money bags in that chat message, man. I just love to hear this information. Look, I know you guys were excited when you heard it, but I'm even more excited just to hear you all talk about it, because again, it's not often that people like yourselves will come and share this information with us. So I give you all kudos again for coming to the stage, sharing your knowledge, what you know. Bella, Larry, talking about the steps that you had to go through to make this happen. Remember, October 31st, guys, it's right around the corner. Don't you wait till that last week of October. Don't you wait for October. Get this stuff done tomorrow. Don't go out tomorrow night. All right? I know it's Friday. I know we love to say that we deserve to go out and give our money away to clubs and food and liquor and all of this other stuff. But I'm telling you, you deserve this Friday for yourself to sit your ass down in the house for a second and figure out how we can get some of this money erased off your books. It's of importance. All right? People try to run away from the word money, don't want to talk about money. But I'm telling you, man, money can help change some things. We are working every day for money. We open our eyes and go to places that we don't want to be at for money. So yes, we need to take this serious. $97,000. Do you know what they could do to you? Do you know what $57,000 could do to you? $40,000 could do for you and your family and your loved ones around you? This is life-changing stuff that's going on here. So again, I appreciate you all for coming up here and sharing. I know we have been on here for over 2 hours now. So I thank everybody on YouTube who has been hanging out with me. I know I'm usually live on YouTube at noon, but we had a little special guest today, so I wanted to come back this evening and hold you guys to my word of every Thursday. I try to give you guys some government information. I thought this was some important information to give out tonight, and the man upstairs brought these two amazing individuals to the room as well so they could share their journey, because I'm just reading it. I can't live in it. I don't have student loans to live in it to tell you guys how to actually execute it, but the man upstairs brought us two people who do. So I can't thank you two enough, Larry. Let me make sure I'm following my man Larry here. Bella, I want to follow you as well. LaShonda, I want you to get on it. Get on it. Figure out how you can get some of this money erased off your books. Again, your life can change if you can get rid of these student loans. I don't want to hear that we senior citizens still paying off these student loans. But I do want to give the opportunity for, I'll go to Bella first. Well, I'll go to LaShonda first. Any closing remarks before we get out of here? I just threw you guys on the spot.
No, thank you for creating this title and having this space, Travis. Larry and Bella, thank you so much for sharing your experience and being open to questions. I appreciate it. Blessings.
Thank you. Bella, did you have anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, if anybody needs help or you need guidance or you need just a cheerleader, I'm here because let me tell you, I've been telling all my friends. And I, when I first applied, all through May and June, I was telling every room that I was in Clubhouse, and people were like, yeah, whatever. But I'm telling you, it is freedom. I'm looking for a new car as a result, so I can afford one now, because $57,000, $300 a month plus was not fun. So yeah, if you need some help, just holler, and I'll be willing to do whatever I can do to help you out.
I'm inside my Facebook group. If you guys want to stay updated with all of these things that I got going on, you can actually click on my profile here. Go over to my Instagram, official Travis Davis. All right, you can go on over there. You'll see the link in my bio. Scroll down to the bottom and you'll be able to find all my other social media platforms. Now, here's the thing. I do have paid programs, but I've also committed to teaching information for free as well. I don't answer DMs, guys. I'm just letting you know that right now. I really don't pay attention to DMs. I just got too much going on, and the DMs have gotten crazy. So what I tell you is turn these bells on. Turn these notifications on. So if you don't have the finances to get in one of my programs, don't let that be an excuse. Because I'm here every week. Show up at the time that I'm on. And this is what it's all about, man. Helping our community get this information that you need to succeed, move forward, and most importantly, put some money in our pockets, guys. Look, you ain't never gonna hear me downplay money and talk about money and all that. We need more money, and we damn sure need more money in our Black community. So every other Friday, I am in my Facebook group, Pure Money Legacy. If you don't know how to make $1,000 a month minimum on the internet right now, at this moment, if you've never made $1,000 on the internet, you need to be in that Facebook group. It don't cost you nothing. That's the problem. But once you get in there, if you just go watch the videos in the guide section, I am teaching you how to make money on the internet. So you get that education for free. Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, I'm on Instagram Live. So follow me over there. Turn the bell on, the notifications. I'm dealing with the mindset more so on Mondays, because all this stuff is just about your mind. It's just paperwork and techniques that you got to do. And you got to get over that mindset hurdle to stop lying to yourself, to stop discouraging yourself so you can get up and make change. So Mondays we talking on Instagram Live about that mindset. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Clubhouse talking about government contracts, straight GovCon. Wednesday, I take a break. Thursday, I'm right here on YouTube at noon, showing you what I've been talking about through voice. We're going to be on GovCon again. Again, that's why we're here bringing up this student loan relief, because I didn't have an opportunity earlier today to talk about GovCon. I had something else going on. But I promise you guys every week, if I'm available, I'm going to keep providing you all information. So turn on those bells so you can stay updated. If you guys want to get into my government contracting program, it's a 1-year program. We do have a private chat. So if you have any questions, you can come out there and ask them inside of our private chat. If you want to watch the videos or replay, stop, pause it, take notes, the whole nine, you're going to get a back office with all of that stuff. You're going to get access to my Google Drive that has templates and other things in there that you can utilize. But most importantly, I know we're going to need some money in our pockets. Government contracting ain't an overnight success. So you get to tell somebody else about the exact same course that you're learning from and earn 25% commissions on it. Once again, if you'd like to get involved with that, you can click the link in my Instagram bio, and instead of scrolling to the bottom to find all my social media channels, just look for Peer Money GovCon. You'll see it right there, and you can get registered today. Outside of that, again, I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. This was some great energy. If you haven't gone to my YouTube yet to watch these government contracting videos, get over there tonight. Go to sleep watching these videos, but most importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button too. And tell somebody else about what we got going on over here. This is the only way that we get to grow, is by you all helping a brother out, sharing this information out to your audience, telling your loved ones about it. You guys have been doing an amazing job at this too, by the way. I just want to give everybody's kudos for sharing what I've been creating here with your audience, with your people. I can't grow without you guys. YouTube is going crazy right now. My Instagram is crazy. My Clubhouse is crazy. And it's all because of each and every one of you all continuing to support me. And I know some people I do piss off, but that's okay. I still love you too. I'm just not emotional about this stuff. I want to get to the business, and I want to put money in our black pockets. That's my main mission. All the other emotions